Hey Goal Digger, Kimberly Olson here, back for another episode of #GetLit, where we crush your business in less than 10 minutes. For today's episode, we're going to talk about the importance of branded, curated content. So if this has you scratching your head, you don't know what I'm talking about, or you know that you need some help when it comes to the content you're creating and how it's in alignment with who you want to work with and attracting that person, then this episode is absolutely for you. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about the importance of branded content today. That's curated content. And I know you've heard this term before and might not know what it means. We actually recently did a masterclass series all about engineering your celebrity. In that masterclass, this was the term that came up over and over again inside of our VIP Zoom sessions after the live trainings. Is the participants were asking about the curated content, and they thought, I want to know more about that. I know I'm not doing it, and I want to know how I can create content that's on brand, that's curated, that can actually support my online presence. So I thought it would be really helpful to talk through that a little bit, why it's so important, and what it can actually do for your business. So when I first started on social media, I did not have a brand. I didn't have colors. Anything that I used was either a Pinterest quote that I just saved it from my phone, or even a Google image, or I would use I think it was called Word Art, something like that. Not maybe Word Out, I don't know. It's an app where you can basically take a graphic and put words over it. And it would just be whatever I felt that day. If I made a quote from it or, made a graphic, there was no consistency. I wasn't using the same typography. I wasn't using the same colors and all the things. So if you're wondering if that's important, it really depends on what your intention is on social media. So when I first launched my brand, The Goal Digger Girl, in the spring of 2018, I knew that I really needed to get my message out there of who I was and what I was all about. So it could be really clear if I was the right solution for those in my audience. I grew really fast. I hit 6 figures in 90 days. Did $1 million my first full year. And the reason why that happened so fast for me was because I was really clear on my brand. I was really clear with who I was all about. If you look back, the consistency with the colors and things like that, it was starting to evolve. Sort of the feel, the vibe was also evolving. It was definitely a work in progress. Well, as time went on and things really started to grow quickly for me, is when my brand messaging was so on point with who I wanted to serve and attract into my programs. So I was able to launch a brand new program that was able to grow to $1 million. The second year, I think it did $2 million. I was able to add on another program that was a step up and be able to serve at a higher level. And even this past summer, launch another program. How was I able to do that? And how was I able to grow? It was because of the brand messaging. It was being very clear, as I mentioned, and letting my audience know if I was the one for them. And what's so really interesting about this, and I'm going to share my screen and show you an example, is that if you feel like you're not talking to the right people, and you're like, I don't know where to find them, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or the money objection comes up for you a lot, or you're not charging enough, often it's because our brand isn't representing who we want to attract and who we want to work with. Think of it this way. I was in network marketing for 5 years. And when I was with this, I was with 3 companies in 5 years. Reason being, the first one was a beauty company. I still use their products. And it was a shampoo company, and I don't really wash my hair very much. So I'm like, that's not going to work. I'm just not passionate about it. But I learned network marketing in that 2 years. It was definitely an amazing starting point. The next year, I flew through the ranks, almost hit the very top of the company, and wasn't in alignment with, they weren't letting me coach, basically. So I was like, okay, that's not going to work because I'm going to coach. And the third company, I waited 6 months to join because I'm like, not again, right? I'm not going to get burned again. And eventually I decided to retire. But I want to ask you a question. If you saw someone like me who had built, a $1 million team in network marketing, could see that I was crushing it online, and you knew I was on the hunt for my home, I was looking for the network marketing company I wanted to join, ask yourself this question, or if you are you have a service-based industry and I'm a potential client, would I see your content and say, yes, she's for me, I need to work with her? At the end of the day, if you can't answer a very confident yes, then you've got work to do with your brand. So you'll know if you don't have the sales that you want, you're not attracting the right clients, there's just some kind of disconnect, you're a little bit confused. And if you're not good at making graphics on Canva and things like that, there's people who do this. We have women in our community. This is what they do full time, is they curate content for their clients, okay? So you can definitely shoot me a message and I can connect you with someone in our community, okay? So I am going to share my screen so that way you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this right here is curated content, okay? So what curated content means is that we are able to come here and see content that's very specific for the brand. So you see the colors, you see the fonts. If you read the quote itself, you know, for example, this content I'm writing to my specific avatar. I'm using hashtags. Oh, I need to get back to some of those comments, but I'm using hashtags. You can see the brand logo on here. You can absolutely see the vibe, right? The feel of it, what it's all about. I'm also a mompreneur, so you can see, oh, I'm with my kids. I'm also a speaker. I am a leader in the industry. I'm a top ranked coach. So you can see, okay, there's some posture here, right? Like I'm on brand. I'm literally, my clothes match my brand. I know it sounds ridiculous, right? It's not ridiculous. It's necessary, okay? So mine does not have a lot of fonts and text and things like that. That's more in my Reels tab. But curated content is where you curate. So imagine collecting and gathering and organizing. You're curating the content to be in alignment with who you want to be online, who you want to embody, who you want to work with. That way, when people come here, you know, I'm working with women that are investing at least 5 figures into their business. So if they come here and they see someone who doesn't have her ish together, you have no idea what I'm about. Success is not spewing from my content. You don't see the life that you want through my content. You're not going to click the button and enroll into my programs, right? So curated content has to do with the colors, the fonts, the look, the vibe. Again, you can absolutely get someone to do this for you, okay? So don't stress yourself out if this doesn't come naturally for you. You can find people who can do this, okay? But what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are planning our content out. There's different apps you can use for that. We're also establishing our authority and credibility. So we're giving inspirational messaging in the words that we're writing, the captions that we're writing for our post. We are giving tips that would help our ideal avatar. We're also inviting people to take the next step with us to grab a free resource or step into our programs, okay? So I really want to encourage you to ask yourself, you know, if I was on the hunt to join your network marketing company, or I was on the hunt to become a coaching client, would I say yes to you? Would I look at your content, if I'm your avatar, would I look at your content and say, yeah, a resounding yes, she's my person? I want you to think about the last buying decision you made. Maybe it was stepping into our programs or someone else's. But it was a step for you, okay? It wasn't just an impulsive $27 purchase, but it was a thing. What was it? Who did you decide to work with? And why did you step into that program? And I want you to think about that person. Did they have curated content? Was the brand messaging on point? Were they speaking your language? And I bet you will have your answer. Okay, so that's your homework. Do a little audit. Get a plan together for your content. Make sure it's curated. Make sure it fits into the avatar that you're speaking to, the presence that you're creating for yourself on social. And watch everything transform for you. And you're going to start getting in alignment with who you want to work with right on social media. I hope this was helpful. If it was, take a screenshot, throw it in your stories, and tag me at the Goal Digger Girl. I would love to give you a shout out, and make sure you click the button to get notified so that way you never miss a live training. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, get lit in your business and set your soul on fire. We'll see you soon.